This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
Here's a great and easy cookie. They're called raspberry thumbprint cookies. And not only is this a delicious cookie, but then you can fill it with delicious jam. So first we're going to start with a cup of softened butter, and we're going to put that in the mixer and start to let it cream up. Then we're going to go ahead and get some cream cheese. Now you don't need a lot of cream cheese, just a 3-ounce package, which is this little small one. So we're going to take and put that in with the butter, and we're going to let that start to cream together as well. Next, we're going to get a cup of sugar, and we're going to take and put that in with the flour and the cream cheese. And we're going to start to get that nice and fluffy. So you're going to want to let that mix together for at least a couple of minutes till you start to see it nice and fluffy like this. Now, while things are getting fluffy, we need to separate an egg. So this is how I do it. I just get a little bowl, I crack the egg, and I kind of go back and forth with the shell, getting most of the white out. Now, for this recipe, we need just the yolk. So then we're going to take and put that in, as well as 3 teaspoons of vanilla, which seems like a lot of vanilla, but it really adds this great vanilla-y flavor to this cookie. So we're going to add that in and let that kind of mix up. And then we need 2.5 cups of flour. Now, we don't use any leavening in this cookie, so we just use 2.5 cups of flour. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add that into our butter mixture. Now, because that is quite a bit of flour, I've stopped the machine and I'm going to put the flour in, and then I'm going to slowly put it on a low speed to kind of mix it up. That way the flour doesn't go everywhere. Now it's going to take a couple of minutes for all this flour to get mixed in. And once it's pretty well mixed in, I am going to do a scrape down on this cookie dough. I'm going to take my spatula, kind of get all that flour on the edges and anything that's caught up in the paddle. And then I'm going to put the mixer back down and let it go for just another, 20 or 30 seconds, just to make sure that I've got most of that flour mixed up. Now I'm just going to do a final scrape down on the bowl, and this cookie dough needs to chill for about an hour. So what I'm going to do is just cover it with some plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator for just about an hour. Now, once the dough is nicely chilled, I'm going to get a 1.5 inch in diameter cookie scoop. And this is how I'm going to portion out these cookies, because I do want them to be fairly uniform in shape. So what I'm going to do is just get one of my baking sheets, put a piece of parchment down, and go through and portion out about 12 of these little dough balls. Now, once I get them all portioned out, then I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to pick up each dough ball and I'm just going to roll it into a ball. Now, this is something that would be fun if you have kids in the house. They love to do this. It's like playing with clay. And so we're just going to go through and make those into little balls. Now the next step is we need to make the indentation for the jam. So what I do is I take my thumb, I make sort of a hole first, and then I take the tip of my finger and I kind of make a well. Now you notice that I want to make sure I have a nice edge all the way around, because I don't want any of the jam to spill over as it's cooking. So you just go through, punch it with your thumb. That's where the name of the cookie, Thumbprint, comes from. And then you just use your fingertips and kind of make little wells in each of those balls of dough. Now it's time to fill them. Now I'm going to be using my fresh raspberry freezer jam that I made from the Farmer's Market Gourmet podcast. And you can go to the website and get the recipe. But you'll notice I'm just getting a little spoonful in each of the wells, not much. And then I put them in a 350 degree oven for just 12 minutes. Now when they come out, you'll notice they're a very pale cookie, but that's what we want. It's very tender. And with that raspberry jam, oh my gosh, they're so good. But do get them off the baking sheet quickly so that they don't overcook. Well, these raspberry thumbprint cookies are so delicious. The cookie's so tender, and you fill them with this raspberry jam. Yum. Well, if you want the recipe, just go to our website. I've got it there for you. And like I said, if you have some kids in the house, get them involved. Make a batch of cookies. Have fun, and I'll see you next time.